good, my peeps and people, man? And y'all see the screen, man. Y'all see what we got coming out in 22 days, 5 hours, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I could spare to play with you. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even plan that. I'm so sorry. But yes, we're 22 days out from Resident Evil. And I'm super excited for it. As you guys can see, if you guys didn't check out my last video, go check that out. That just tells you how excited I am for this game, man, if you just watched that video. And man, I'm about to tell you, because I wanted to record a video basically yapping about what Resident Evil means to me and why I love Resident Evil so much, because I know some of you in the streams and some of you who are close to me know why I love Resident Evil so much and why I've loved it all this time. But to those who don't, I'm making this video for that specific reason, just so you guys know and stuff. And yeah, honestly didn't even know what video to make. I just know that I want all my videos to be Resident Evil related. So yeah, just anyway, let me just get into it, man. I'm excited for Resident Evil 9, and I'm about to get into why I love this series so much. So we're gonna do a little backtrack. This is gonna be a long yap session, or just a mid yap session, you know, mid-level yap session of me just telling you guys some backstory and stuff. But yeah, let's roll it back, a little story time to when I was a little jit, before I played any games, before I had even touched a console before. I think, I don't know what age I was, but I think I was around like five or six or something like that. And my mom, my mom and my uncles used to always play games, right? So a couple of the first games that I saw growing up were like Dragon Ball Z Budokai and like Metal Gear Solid a little bit. You know, I would see my uncles play those games all the time. But then like I was never really like that invested into them. Dragon Ball Z a little bit, but I wasn't like too like invested into them, and they never let me play the games. They actually never let me like get it hands on, you know. So I never actually had like the attachment to those games yet, you know. But then my mom, she would play Resident Evil in front of me, bro, and holy lord, I would be so invested. I don't know what it was as a kid. Maybe it's because she showed me the Saw movies growing up, or she just showed me a bunch of horror movies growing up, is why I was invested. But bro, when I tell you, I was locked in watching my mom play RE. And then one day she handed me the controller. She said, "Here you go. You play it. You try it out." And I played it and I sucked, and I kind of hated it, if I'm being honest. But it always, that day that she let me play it, I played it, I think, for not even an hour, and I put it down. I hated it. I never wanted to play it again. But then it like put a feeling into my heart. It put a feeling into my soul, where I was like, I hated it, but I loved it, and I wanted to go back to it to play more of it. And my mom, she wouldn't let me play it without her, you know, so I had to be around my mom. I swear, there would be times where I would just sneak to the console just to play the game for like 30 minutes, bro. Not even, maybe just like 20 minutes, like 20 minutes at a time, dude. Like, and it was peak moments of my life. And then as I got older, she got me a console. She got me the PlayStation 2, and I got into more like kid friendly games like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank and stuff. And I kind of fell out of the Resident Evil, you know. I kind of forgot about it. But then Resident Evil 4 dropped, and then one of my uncles had RE4, and I remember he was done. He had already beat it, and he like let me play it. And holy fuck, RE4 is when I fell in love with the franchise. Even though I did play OG1 back then, and I hated it and loved it. When I got into RE4, I loved it, bro. And Leon was one of my most favorite freaking like characters or anything, bro. He was my John Wick before John Wick even came out, bro. He was so insanely cool, and I just fell in love with that game, dude. And then it made me want to go back to the other ones. So when I had the opportunity to, I would say that next year, I went back, played RE2, played RE3. It took me a lot to actually play those games because I had already gotten to the RE4, like the cameras behind you, you know, the little those type of controls, you know, the tank controls. And then I had to go to a fixed camera angle, and I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna like this. But once I played RE2, holy crap, I don't like I said, it took me a minute to get into it, but I just fell in love with it, man. I fell in love with it. And then 3 was the one that probably took me the longest to beat out of any Resident Evil game, because holy crap, I think I only played 3 like maybe 30 minutes at a time. But yeah, and it was just always just something that at first I would hate it, and then I'd go back to it and I loved it. You know, I would always, oh man, this is trash, I freaking hate this game, dude, I'm going back to Ratchet and Clank, or I'm going back to Jak and Daxter, dude. And then it would always just leave something in my mind where I'm like, dude, I want to go back to that game so bad. So I would go back, and I would consistently go back, and that's where my love for Resident Evil started. Okay. And then what is it, I think I tried the Resident Evil 1 remake, and holy shit, that is one of the best Resident Evil games. Not even Resident Evil, that is one of the best games, horror games of all time, bro. That shit is peak. Resident Evil 1 remake is amazing, bro. It's amazing. And not a lot of Resident Evil games after that have been able to be better than it, you know, which is okay. There doesn't mean it's a bad Resident Evil game, but bro, when I tell you Resident Evil 1 remake was something else, and when I first played it, dude, holy shit, I was bricked up the whole time, and I played for hours on end, bro. Even though I was getting my ass chewed out and my ass kicked, I played for hours on end, bro. I didn't care. It was like one of the, besides Resident Evil 4, it was like one of the very first ones where I could like just sit down and like play it as like a, and this is gonna sound weird, but like a chill game, you know? And it was just so cool, and I loved it. And then RE5 came out. I have mixed feelings on RE5. I never had a co-op partner to play literally until these past few years. You know, I played with my boy KX, Rico, and we're currently playing with my girl now. But I've never really had a partner to play with. And back then, none of my friends were into Resident Evil. Resident Evil was that the zombie game? Why would I want to buy that? Left 4 Dead's out, bro. That's not Left 4 Dead though, bro. We're playing Left 4 Dead over here. Yeah, dude, those are the friends I had to deal with. Nobody wanted to play RE5 with me, so I had to play with the freaking crappy AI companion, bro. And I feel like that's what made me not like RE5 a lot at first, you know? And it wasn't until I started my YouTube channel to where I actually found someone to play RE5 with, thankfully. But yeah, no, at first I didn't really like RE5. I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. I didn't really fuck with RE5. Now that I have people to play with, it's fun as hell, and I really like it. But when I'm playing by myself, I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't fuck with the game when I'm playing by myself, bro. I'm gonna have to get like infinite ammo or something if I'm playing by myself, because that AI companion is terrible. But let's not get into that. But yeah, RE5 came out. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I still played and beat it. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But then, dude, the RE6 trailer dropped, bro. That RE6 trailer dropped, and that shit looked peak. That shit looked like it was gonna be the best Resident Evil game of all time, bro. You're having like what, 5 different campaigns on there, bro. You got Chris, you got Leon, you got Ada, you got Jake, bro. You got all these different campaigns, and if you like the horror aspect of Resident Evil, you could play Leon's story. If you like the action orient of Resident Evil, you could go over to Chris's story, or and the horror is Leon's story, and then Jake's is a mix of both. No, bro, I was so hyped for this fucking game. And then when I first played it, this was the first time I was physically upset with that game, because I hadn't tried Operation Raccoon City yet. This was the first time I had played a Resident Evil game, and I was physically disgusted. I wanted to puke and throw this shit out, bro. And once again, I didn't have a co-op partner to play with this, and I've never played Resident Evil 6 with a co-op partner. Maybe it would be better if I had someone to play with, but I don't give a fuck. I'm not going back to that game ever again, bro. That shit was trash. That game killed the franchise for damn near 6 years, half a decade, my nigga. I'm not, dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. That shit is fucking trash. I'm not going back to that shit. And I was so mad when that game came out, and I was just from there a Resident Evil hater, because after that I played Operation Raccoon City. And if real OG fans know Operation Raccoon City, when it first dropped, I don't know about now how people feel about it, but when it first dropped, bro, one of the most hated Resident Evil games of all time. And holy shit, I agree. shit was trash, bro. That shit was straight trash. And so I had two bad experiences with Resident Evil back to back. And alongside that, the fucking shitty ass movies were coming out. So not only did I have to deal with shitty ass, this was little me, little Afro Raz, bro, having to deal with two shitty Resident Evil games in a row. I'm having to deal with all these fucking movies that are shitty too. And nowadays I kind of like the movies. They're kind of just cheesy and corny. I could go back to them and laugh at them. But dude, I was going through it, bro. I completely denounced Resident Evil. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was like, this shit is trash, bro. They didn't know what they were doing no more. I can't support it no more. I can't do it. And so for the longest time, I just stayed away from Resident Evil. I didn't even care about no updates. But then RE7 came out, and holy shit, RE7 brought me back in. I loved RE7. The RE2 remake, bro, is one of my favorite Resident Evil games of all time, if not my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. It switches here and there. Sometimes RE1 remake's my favorite, sometimes RE2 remake's my favorite. Sometimes I switch up, okay? I switch up like some clothes. Nigga, fuck you, it's my opinion. I don't give a fuck, it's my video, bitch. I'll say what I say. Okay. But, so I'm so sorry. But RE2, then they had the RE2 remake, then RE8, and then RE3 remake. We're not going to talk about the RE3 remake. It's a good game, but a terrible remake. Great game, terrible remake. Then we got RE8, then we got RE4 remake, and bro, dude, just Resident Evil has been on a roll lately, and I've been loving it so much. And I haven't really given time to just like thank Capcom for bringing back the franchise and reviving the franchise, bro. Thank you guys so much, bro. Thank you to the Resident Evil developers, bro, for actually caring about the franchise and coming back with a bang. And y'all haven't missed. Resident Evil 3 remake was a little bit of a miss, but I'll let y'all slide with that. I still have fun with Resident Evil 3 remake, but dude, we're back, bro. We're back. And now, dude, I have the YouTube channel started. Now you guys get to see my love for Resident Evil and experience it with me, bro. And that's what I'm really freaking like just excited and happy for, because before I never really had Resident Evil like friends or fans, you know what I'm saying? Like none of my friends were Resident Evil people, and now I have multiple people who watch me play Resident Evil, who are fans of the franchise and are actually knowledgeable of the franchise, which I love. And I have actual friends and content creators who I talk to who love and play Resident Evil alongside me. Shout out to my boy Haple Maple. Shout out to my boy Elijah Mike. Shout out to my boy KX the Ghoul, man. I love them niggas, bro. Those are niggas I could talk to Resident Evil to. Well, maybe not KX, because this nigga's a Chris Glazer sometimes out of nowhere. Shout out to my boy KX. But I could talk to them about Resident Evil. They will know what they were talking about for the most part. They will know what they were talking about, and I can have a genuine conversation with them, and they are excited for Resident Evil stuff. And bro, I love it, bro. We're currently in talks to try to play Resident Evil Outbreak, and I love that shit, bro. Back in the day, I couldn't convince none of my friends to play no Resident Evil with me, bro. And so I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped. I kind of missed a few areas within the story, but this is a long yap session and my memory's a little shot, but I did miss a little like things here and there. Like I did play Outbreak 1 and 2 at one point in my life. It's just I don't know at what point, you know, but yeah, I know. And the whole reason why I love Resident Evil so much is just because it was the first horror game I ever played. And one of the first games I played in general. And the reason why I love it so much is just because it always scratched the itch for me that no other game could for some reason. It was just the music, the characters, just the ambiance, just everything about it, bro. Just always brought me into it, bro. And I just loved it, bro. I love it. I love the concept of it. And I don't know, man. It just means something like very close to me just because, like I said, it was the first game I ever played. And if we're here now, bro, fuck, look at my background, bro. Like, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, bro, and I love this shit, dude. Like, I don't think I probably still would have gotten into gaming if it wasn't for Resident Evil, but I don't think I would have been too much of a horror like gamer if it wasn't for Resident Evil. You know? Resident Evil is like literally the most goated game franchise I've ever played, and I love it, man. I love this shit, bro. It's goated, bro. I fucking love this shit. It is great, and I don't got much more to say about it, man. But yeah, this is my shit, man. Chris is a fraud, man. Chris is a fraud. But yeah, no, I love this game. I love this game, and I cannot wait for Resident Evil 9. I pray to God that they do not kill Leon. I still want him for later entries at least, bro. Keep milking it, bro. Bring him back like Wolverine until he's 90. I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm not like a Yakuza friend who says they use Majima too much, bro. You could use Leon as much as you want, bro. Chris is in like 6 to fucking 8 games, bro. Man. But yeah, this is a long gap session on what Resident Evil means to me and why I love Resident Evil. And like my origin story behind playing Resident Evil. You know? But I love Resident Evil, bro. It's so goated. I love it so much. And it will always be that I'll always have that connection to it just because, like I said, first game I ever played, first horror game I played, and no other game will just scratch that itch, man. And I love it. I love it dearly, man. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for coming out. If you guys are Resident Evil fans, drop a like, please. Subscribe, comment. What got you into Resident Evil? If you are a Resident Evil fan, let me know what got you into Resident Evil. Let me know. We're gonna be streaming Resident Evil 9 day 1 the minute it comes out. Be on the lookout for that. We are doing a Resident Evil Road to Requiem stream, little marathon, where I'm currently playing Resident Evil Revelations 1. We're gonna start 2 here soon. Playing Resident Evil 5 with my girl. Playing Resident Evil 8. And yeah, we're just playing a bunch of Resident Evils, man. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I love you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video, man. Peace.